Your base should not be the main focus of your wipe. Instead, it should be a cozy and useful place to securely and quickly depot loot, as well as safely log out for the night. And that's where today's base will shine. Ideal for a solo or even a small group, this base offers easy movement, great defense options, and a super secure and cheap bunker design. And it does all of this without breaking the bank. If you think having quick access to everything is important, and you want something super secure for an incredibly low cost, I might have the perfect solution for you. To start this build, we're going to be placing 2 squares and 2 triangles. From this point, you're going to want to surround everything in walls except for the front side of this square. Once that's done, we can go ahead and add a triangle frame right here and a triangle ceiling right here. You'll want to make sure you upgrade all of these except for this foundation. At this point, we can go ahead and place our double doorway here, upgrading that. And on this side, you can either place a doorway or a window. If you don't mind eco rating, a doorway is perfectly fine for now. I'm going to go ahead and skip straight to the window. Inside of here, we're going to go ahead and place our TC, additionally locking that so nobody can get into it. This is going to help make sure that we don't lose our spot, as well as make destroying things a lot easier. And then off of this square here, we're going to want to place a new square, and then we're going to build 9 triangles on the left side. On the 9th triangle, we're going to go ahead and place a square, and then remove all of the triangles we've just placed. You're also going to want to remove this extra square and this initial square. Coming back out to your square all the way out here, we're going to build all the way back to the base. And finally, at this point here, we're going to want to replace this square. When you do this, you're going to want to make sure you're very carefully and slowly moving from the left side to the right side. This helps make sure that it snaps to this square and doesn't accidentally snap over here. Once that's done, you can go ahead and upgrade this foundation and destroy these again. And coming back here, we do it again. Place that square and build 9 triangles. On the 9th triangle, place a square and destroy all the triangles. This time, the difference being that we do not destroy the triangle or the square that we upgraded. Come back out to your square over here and build back. And then this time, off of this square foundation, we're going to do the same thing. Very carefully and slowly moving over, and then we don't upgrade this. Go ahead and destroy these extra squares and come back to just this one extra on the outside. From here, we're going to place our wall. Make sure you place your wall facing out and make sure you place it from the outside. Immediately after, we're going to place a floor piece, bringing that carefully forward until it snaps in. Then you can go ahead and upgrade this wall and go inside to upgrade that floor piece. Destroy this foundation and build your way up inside. Once inside, you should notice that this floor piece has only 22 stability. That means we've done everything correctly, and we can go ahead and place another piece connected to that. And you'll notice that it only has 5% stability. If that says those numbers, then you're good to upgrade these pieces, as we've done it all correctly. At this point, we're going to go ahead and build a loot room over here, upgrading this, destroying this, and placing our boxes down here, starting with a large, a small, and then a large box. Placing another small box over here, and then repeating the process upstairs. Now the entrance to this loot room for now we're actually going to leave open, instead bringing our attention over here. You're going to want to place a garage door as soon as possible, but obviously if a double door is all you have, we're going to only use 1 furnace in here for now. The reason being that obviously with a double door and 3 furnaces, you wouldn't be able to come in here. That said, as soon as you can get to a garage door, we're going to instead replace it with that, giving you a lot more mobility and letting us place 3 furnaces in here. Now, if all you've got is that tier 2 or tier 1, go ahead and slap it down here and place any bags you and your teammates might have in this slot here. Coming upstairs, this isn't really quite a bunker yet, nor is it really much of a base. At this point, if for whatever reason you do have to log off, while I do recommend upgrading all of this inside to metal, we still want to know how to seal the bunker. Coming over here and coming back down to this base, we're going to pay attention to this frame right here. This frame here is mostly just a placeholder to make sure that the piece we're about to do doesn't snap anywhere else. You see, because of the weird building we've done, it'll actually let us build a floor piece right here. And while not actually letting us place it, there's a workaround for that. Coming back to the inside of this loot room here, you'll notice I didn't place one of the small boxes. That's because standing in this corner right here, if we bring out our doorway and place it right here, we can come back over here and actually place this floor. That's because this doorway is actually now connecting specifically only to this foundation here and allowing us to increase the stability to 22 here, which allows us to bring just enough stability to this spot here. Upgrading that piece, we've now sealed in the bunker. For anybody coming from the outside, they have to go through a piece of stone any direction they want to go to get inside. Now for that reason, because it is rather open in here, we do want to make sure that we lock up the TC, putting in a glass window into this spot. For this doorway here, we actually can't upgrade it as this is how the bunker works in its entirety. Whenever we log on and we need to open up the bunker, simply destroy this piece here, and you'll notice that the bunker opens up. Of course, the base isn't done here. While this gives us a nice place to start, it's still not much of a base, so let's upgrade this to metal and turn it into one. Fully upgraded to high quality metal in all the parts that matter, your current costs are going to look like this. Ultimately still very cheap for a very strong base, but we're not done here. Now obviously if you don't have this much high qual early on, this wouldn't be possible, and metal frags is perfectly acceptable, though maybe not providing the same security. Now ultimately upgrading to sheet metal might be all that you could afford for this base early on. That said, this core here that I'm showcasing right now, you're going to want to make sure you upgrade to high qual as you get the materials to, because this is the most vulnerable part of the base and is going to store everything important. Moving on though, we are going to want to add our honeycombing to it, and so we're going to jump straight down here. Off of this front area with the two triangles jutting out on the side, we're going to add a square on each side here, and then fill in the rest with triangles. Coming around to the rest of the base, we're just going to add triangles all around. And then we can go ahead and upgrade this. Once you have all these foundations placed and upgraded, we can go ahead and place a wall in between all of these pieces. You'll want to upgrade these walls early as you're not going to have access to them later. Coming to this last piece, we're going to go ahead and build a floor piece so that we can access the upper area of our base. And then we're going to fill in the rest over here. Simply coming all around the base and from up here filling in all our foundations. Now it's very important that you pay attention to these next steps, as messing them up could actually ruin the entire bunker. That's because the thing we're about to do can destroy this entire bunker. The whole reason this bunker works is the stability of these two pieces right here. As they're connected to that weird wall floor situation we did earlier, this is what allows us to create this entire bunker system, as only with this extra wall here can we ever actually close the bunker. Now that said, we really don't want to mess up these stabilities, so destroying that wall again, we're going to come upstairs and start filling in the top pieces of our honeycomb. Now what you want to do is really pay attention to your stabilities. Anytime we're building anything that actually connects to any of the bunker pieces, we need to make sure that we don't mess anything up. When doing so, you always want to make sure you place your floor pieces connecting to walls away from the bunker. And every time you place a piece, you want to double check that this stability hasn't changed. If you place a piece and you do see the stability change, you're going to want to start over by destroying that piece. Destroy the piece and place it from the proper spot, and you should get the right stability. This may take a little bit of trial and error, but you want to make sure that before you proceed, you return to your base stability. The same's going to happen over here, and as long as it doesn't change, you're good to go. Upgrade all of your pieces, and then finally we're going to close in the roof piece here, a triangle roof piece here, and upgrade all of those. Coming back up here, we've now created a little skirt for our doorway so that we can make sure we don't have any door campers. Next, we're going to go ahead and place walls around this entire area, leaving just this front area open. Go ahead and place your 2 single doorways and a window here. This is going to give us a nice little peek out to help make sure that nobody's door camping us. Coming inside, we're going to go ahead and place a wall over here and a wall here. Now you're going to start noticing things don't really want to place properly, but by looking up, down, and all around, you can get that sweet spot. In the back here, we're going to add a double door frame, and we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Over here, you can do another doorway, but I'm simply going to make this a loot room, which I prefer to keep as windows. Upgrading these shelves and destroying this lower piece. At this point, you can go ahead and seal in everything. Leaving just this back piece open here. In this back piece, before you place this double doorway, I do like to create a shelf here. Destroy that, and then go ahead and place it. Now at this point, you can go ahead and upgrade all of these. Finally over here, we're also going to place a couple more double doors. And of course, ideally, all of that will get filled with garage doors. Now, for over here, you might decide to go with double or single doors instead, simply to avoid the garage door rollers appearing from the outside. And then coming over here, we're going to place a locker, and then in front of that, we're going to place a window. Now, you might notice you have that issue where things don't like to place still. It's not the locker getting in the way, it's just these weird pieces here. As well, coming over here, we're going to grab ourselves our large boxes and a repair bench and stick them into here. Now, the reason I'm doing this all right here is you want that quick access coming in and out of your base. Especially as a solo or a duo, getting that kit really quickly, depositing loot really quickly, can all be the difference between recovery or not. This means that ideally in any base, you're going to have easy and quick access to anything you might need. Now, as you can see here, I'm having quite a bit of trouble placing that, but eventually it does go down. Upgrading both of these windows to stone, this one is the only one that matters here which way you face, because with this floor piece in the middle here, no matter which way you go, that's going to be hard side. So sticking these hard sides out here, nobody raiding out through here is going to be able to eco raid through this until they also destroy this floor piece. For that reason, I really do like windows in these kind of builds, and they also make easy access really convenient. As a solo living in a base, or even as a duo or a trio, getting your loot and access to your kits really quickly can be the difference between recovering a kit or not. For this reason, I really like having access to the kit right here and your loot deposits here in this base. Next, over here, you're gonna call me excessive, but I love me some lockers. Fitting really nicely here. These are gonna give me options to deposit and switch to at least a few more kits, as I find one locker is never enough. When I kill a player, I like to quickly deposit their kits in my lockers, as that's gonna give me some nice extra respawns. Coming over here, we're gonna start building up to the roof. Starting off with your full walls stacking on here. we can go ahead and upgrade those. Here you can go ahead and cap that off because that's as high as we're gonna let this go. Up here on this floor, we're gonna build a shooting floor. Coming all around here, and then building a wall system back here. Go ahead and upgrade all of these. From here, things get a little different. Starting off, we're gonna build 2 half walls down here on both sides. Go ahead and upgrade those and place a floor triangle on both. Next, on both sides of there, we're gonna place a half wall like this and then cap that off, and then place a doorway on both sides. Some of you may be familiar with this technique and others maybe not, as a doorway like this might seem odd to a lot of people. This actually is incredibly important for base defense on the build, especially prior to having turrets. Closing off the rest of the area like here, we're actually going to be moving up through this backside. Placing a shelf like that so we can jump up. We're then going to go ahead and fill this off with 2 more walls, if they'll ever place. Go ahead and upgrade those and place that. Before we place a doorway on that, we're actually going to go ahead and do this, placing a wall there, and destroy this. Instead of placing a doorway how you're thinking we would, we're going to actually do this, giving ourselves that double door jump up, which is going to require a garage door. Now, for those of you wondering about this piece still, it should be a little more obvious now, but having these gaps here is going to give you a spot where you can actually defend your roof without ever worrying about losing your gear. That's because anything dropped down there, including your kits when you die, is completely unreachable to a raider. Additionally, this also gives you a really nice peek down spot by giving that nice elevation in case you still want to maintain crouch. Additionally, if you're worried about the security, you can also have this just be a solid wall at the back, though I prefer to have it this way. Adding a double door here, we can also add double doors for garage doors on all of our sides. This is going to really increase that shooting floor security, so that when you go offline, there's no easy raid path there. Coming up to the roof, we've got a bit of an odd shape to work with, but we're going to start filling it in with roof pieces. Running around most of it with solid roof pieces, we're going to have to put the triangles in the front here, which can get a little tricky. Obviously, this triangle is going to connect around. Place another full piece right here, which gives us the jump to this one over here. Now, this roof does have a little bit of vulnerability of people climbing up here, so you can additionally get a nice turret right here, helping to really protect that spot. However, this spot here is meant for our roof turret. With a couple solar panels, this base can have several turrets without being really an issue. And with all this said and done, let's look at what the base might look like finished. Now, coming into the base, we start off with a nice little airlock system. That means nobody's going deep, as well as a cheeky little shotgun to get anybody in the face who tries. Going from the inside out, we can see anybody door camping us and don't really have to worry about them going deep. Giving you nice angles, even if somebody is chilling, we can move inside. Coming in, we've got a locker for quick drops of kits, as well as access to repairs and quick loot depot. Whether we're going upstairs or down, we've got garage doors opening up the base so that when we're online, moving around is a breeze. Going upstairs past the nice little shotgun drops here, we go up into our shooting floor. Opening up these garage doors, we see 2 beds, another couple shotgun traps to catch anybody coming from a top down, and our windows. You'll see I put armored doors in these spots here, which is absolutely not a requirement, but it can be handy. Speaking of the roof, opening up this garage door here and revealing another little shotgun trap, we can jump up to a nice little couple solar panels and a turret guarding our entrance. This means we don't have to necessarily check these peaks every time, but it could still be handy. With a lot of nice peak downs to cover our entrance in case we do have any door campers in that area, we don't really have to worry about too much. Of course, we've also done a couple changes down in the bunker, so let's go check that out. Obviously right now we're wide open, but here it is. With our tier 3 finally crafted, we moved that to our left side to give us room to place that large battery. While not a requirement, it is definitely handy to have and still gives us room to access our TC. While there definitely are a few options for this area, that would definitely be my preference. Ultimately, this base is a strong one, and if you want something you can quickly build that's not going to break the bank, this base will have you covered. Without costing too much, you can build and maintain this on any vanilla server. And if you're playing on a 2x or more, this should be no problem to slap down. If you guys like this base design, if you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Until next time, enjoy your wipe and peace out. If you wanted to check out one of my latest base designs or a base that can earn you a ton of scrap, then as soon as you finish clicking that subscribe button, you're going to want to click on one of those 2 videos on the screen.